How you going, guys? And in this video, let's talk about the Ashtavakra Gita. Perhaps you've heard of this text, or if you haven't, you eventually will, if you're into the teachings of non-duality. This is called a Nididhyasana text. It's more of an advanced text in quotes, because what this is basically describing is a dialogue between student, King Janaka, and the guru, Ashtavakra, about self-realization, what they're experiencing. If you read this as a beginner and take what they are saying as a belief system, you suffer. And this is where people that are into neo-Vada, talking about the absolute truth a lot, fall victim to this text. They read this, think they understand it, and then make that an identity. This is why it can be damaging. It's a Nididhyasana text. It's for people that are highly advanced on the spiritual path or have realized their true nature. It's a direct reporting of what they're experiencing. This would be like, just say you're trying to become rich and you're hearing a dialogue between two multimillionaires talking about how great it is to be a millionaire. You're not rich. You're not a millionaire. So trying to talk like them, take on their belief systems isn't going to work. When they say, I bought this yacht, I bought this house, you can't claim you're doing that because you're not at their level yet. And again, on this spiritual path, our mind naturally goes, give me the top teaching and I'll discard all this lower teachings, apparently lower teachings, but it will damage you. So in this video, I want to give you a rough sketch outline of what's happening in the Ashtavakra Gita so you can see what I'm pointing to and driving at. And the only reason I'm making this video is I'm talking to my past self. I would hear, oh, this is an advanced text. Let's discard all this spiritual practice and hear the real stuff. I want to hear what it's like to be enlightened, and because I'm so smart and all, I'll get it. Let me show you how it's going to be damaging. First of all, there's 20 chapters, you can call it, in this text. It's a dialogue between King Janaka and the sage Ashtavakra. Now, let's look at the first chapter, because just quickly, I'm not going to read all the chapters. I'm going to go through chapter 3 because it's very important. But I'm just going to show you chapter 1. A few verses in chapter 1 to prove a point to you. Chapter 1, it's called Instruction of Self-Realization. I'm only going to read the first 3 verses. Janaka, King Janaka, he's the student. He's asking Ashtavakra, the guru, Master, how is knowledge to be achieved, detachment acquired, liberation attained? I'm not enlightened. Give me some instruction. Ashtavakra said, to be free, shun the experience of the senses like poison. Turn your attention to forgiveness, sincerity, kindness, simplicity, and truth. Then, verse 3, he says, you are not earth, water, fire, or air, nor are you empty space. Liberation is to know yourself as awareness alone, the witness of all these. You are not earth, water, fire, air, or empty space, the 5 elements that make up the physical body. He's basically saying, you're not the body, you're the pure witness. What we discover in self-inquiry. I'm going to leave it there because this is where most beginners should be stopping. These first 3 verses. What is he recommending? Turn your attention to forgiveness, kindness, sincerity, simplicity, truth. Practices like karma yoga. Be a good, loving, decent person. That was the instruction. Now, obviously, many people will just read that and go, oh, cool, nice. Give me the real stuff. And that's where it can be damaging. This is what we need to fix our mind on for a period of time. Also, self-inquiry. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm the pure witness. So self-inquiry, and as we move around this world, be a loving, kind, non-reactive, patient person. The practice of karma yoga, where many people want to skip. I did. I just thought, oh, nice instruction, give me the real stuff. Now in chapter 2, I wish I was around Ashtavakra, because in chapter 2, Janaka's got it. King Janaka says, yes, I've realized it. Now, obviously, there's more instruction in chapter 1. I just covered the first 3. But basically, he goes after chapter 1, I've got it. Now let me describe what I'm experiencing, Ashtavakra. And again, I won't go into every verse of chapter 2, but there's a lot of I am talk. I am this, I am that, I'm so great. Just quickly, here's an example. This is what Janaka is describing after the instruction from Ashtavakra. Let me just read a few verses. Chapter 2, verse 11 to 13. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. I cannot decay nor ever die, though God and all the universe should perish to the last blade of grass. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. Even with the body I am one. I neither come nor go. I am everywhere at once. Verse 13. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. I am astounded at my powers. The universe appears within me, but I do not touch it. He goes into a lot of I am this, I am that, I'm so great. He's saying to Ashtavakra, thank you, I've got it. I'm self-realized. Chapter 3 is called the test of self-realization. And I'm going to go through every verse of this chapter because this is so important. If you think you're enlightened, if you think you're self-realized, let's study this chapter and see if that's the case. Because Ashtavakra is here in Janaka in chapter 2 saying, I've got it, I'm this, I'm that. And he's basically saying indirectly, are you sure? Let's just test this out. So let's just quickly read through chapter 3. It's called the test of realization. And think of this in your own life. If you feel you're enlightened, listen to what Ashtavakra is saying. And does it apply to you? Because if we want to really be genuine on this path, we need to genuinely think, does this truly apply to me? If this genuinely doesn't truly apply to me now, I need more spiritual practice. I need more karma yoga, service, devotion, humility. You're only cheating yourself. That's what I found. We can pretend and delude ourselves that we're enlightened, but do you truly feel this? If yes, we'll talk about chapter 20, the final chapter in the end. But if not, this path is meant to be enjoyable. Every step of it is meant to be enjoyable to the end goal. But let's just read it. Test of self-realization. Ashtavakra said, having realized yourself as one, being serene and indestructible, why do you desire wealth? You're enlightened. Why do you desire wealth? Just as imagining in mother of pearl causes greed to arise, so does ignorance of self cause desire for illusion. Having realized yourself as that in which the waves of the world rise and fall, why do you run around in turmoil? Having realized yourself as pure awareness, as beautiful beyond description, how can you remain a slave to lust? It is strange that in a sage who has realized self in all and all in self, the sense of ownership should continue. Strange that one abiding in the absolute, intent on freedom, should be vulnerable to lust and weakened by amorous pastimes. Strange that knowing lust as an enemy of knowledge, one so weak and nearing death should still crave sense pleasure. Strange that one who is unattached to the things of this world and the next, who can discriminate between the transient and the timeless, who yearns for freedom, should yet fear dissolution of the body. Whether acclaimed or tormented, the serene sage abides in the self. He is neither gratified nor angered. A great soul witnesses his body's actions as if they were another's. How can praise or blame disturb him? Realizing the universe is an illusion, having lost all curiosity, how can one of steady mind fear death? With whom can we compare the great soul, who, content knowing self, remains desireless in disappointment? Why should a person of steady mind, who sees the nothingness of objects, prefer one thing over another? He who is unattached, untouched by opposites, free of desire, experiences neither pleasure nor pain as events pass through. That's the test of self-realization. If you're reading this and you're thinking, no, I do not fear death. No, I am not in a state of lust, in a state of anger, preferring this over that. If you can genuinely say, yes, that's me, congratulations, you're probably there. But if you have all these urges and desires and fears, preferences, Ashtavakra is saying, sorry, you're not there yet. There's more spiritual work to do. It's so easy to say, yeah, it's the one appearing separate. In boundless awareness, I'm angry. In boundless awareness, I'm desiring. In boundless awareness, I hurt them, which is okay because I'm pure consciousness, so are they. They'll be okay. The ego can grab these teachings and twist it for its own purposes. So that's why chapter 3 is important. If you genuinely want to become enlightened, eventually, if you're not already, you're only cheating yourself. If you think, yeah, I've figured it out, but you're still miserable and you're still desiring. That's what Ashtavakra is saying in chapter 3. Janaka is saying, I've got it. I'm this, I'm that. He's saying, are you sure? Then they go on into a back and forth discussion, and it gets more and more extreme, more and more non-dual. Then it culminates in chapter 20, and I just want to read a few verses from chapter 20, the final verses. This is Janaka speaking, after I've done this back and forth dialogue. Almost like a rap battle, back and forth. Here's what I'm experiencing. Well, here's what I'm experiencing. Are you sure you're enlightened? Well, I'm experiencing this back and forth thing. Let's get to just the final verses of chapter 20. Because in chapter 2, Janaka has a lot of I am talk. I am this. I'm so great. I am boundless awareness. I am. A lot of ego in quotes still. In chapter 20, there's not much I am anymore. It's where is this? Where is that? He's speaking from the absolute truth in the end. Let's just read the last few verses to get a feel of this. Chapter 20, verse 12 to 14. Where is activity or inactivity? Where is liberation or bondage? I am timeless, indivisible. I am self alone. Where are principles and scriptures? Where is the disciple or teacher? Where is the reasons for life? I am boundless, absolute. Where is existence or non-existence? Where is unity or duality? Nothing emanates from me, no more can be said. He ends this on the final highest point. It's called Ajata Vada in non-duality, non-creation. You know what he's speaking from? My favorite example, imagine the fabric of reality was water. Reality was just water. Infinite, eternal water with no limits or edges to it. Water. In that fabric of reality water, whirlpools start forming. I'm a whirlpool, you're a whirlpool. 8 billion whirlpools, just including the humans. As a person in bondage, in quotes, we think I'm this whirlpool. This is me. And there's bigger whirlpools, smaller whirlpools. I'm a whirlpool that's suffering. I'm a whirlpool that's suffering and I want happiness. That's the regular person. When we speak from the whirlpool's point of view, we say, yeah, there's bigger whirlpools, smaller whirlpools. There's other whirlpool activities that I want to grab and claim for my own happiness. Then this whirlpool goes down a spiritual path. Eventually, this whirlpool, in the highest realization, realizes it's water. And what does that water realize? From the point of view of water, what whirlpools are we talking about? What forms in water? Whirlpools, waves, ripples, bubbles. From the point of view of a wave, whirlpool, ripple, bubble, there are other objects. From the point of view of water, what whirlpools? What creation? What manifestation? That's basically what Janaka is saying in the final verses of this Ashtavakra Gita. Where is existence or non-existence? Where is unity or duality? Nothing emanates from me. No more can be said. From the point of view of water, nothing's happened. What creation? See how he changed his language from in chapter 2 of I am this, I am that, I'm so great to what are we talking about here? He basically got all Neo-Advaita in the end. And again, there's nothing wrong with Neo-Advaita. They're speaking from absolute truth. But the only thing I'm saying, because I experienced this, and if you're a beginner, I'm just trying to help you. Don't take this absolute as a belief. It needs to be a direct realization. Because if you take it as a belief, your ego is going to use these teachings for its own purposes. They'll be okay. It's all one anyway. They're just a dream character. I can hurt them. In boundless awareness, I'm desiring. In boundless awareness, I'm getting angry. It's all right in boundless awareness. It's fine. Remember what Ashtavakra said in the beginning. It's strange that an enlightened person would fear things, prefer one thing over another, would have strong lust and desire. We must understand in Advaita Vedanta, there's two levels of reality. The absolute level and the transactional level. While we feel like we're a person living a life, we need to neutralize our likes and dislikes. We need to have the mindset of service, love and devotion. That's why in chapter 1, he's telling Janaka, in his unenlightened state, focus on sincerity, humility, love, devotion, all that kind of stuff. Which of course many of us will skip over. I did. I just thought, yeah, cool. Tell me the ultimate, then I'll be free. You can try it. I'm just saying, if you're anything like me, it's not going to work. So just to summarize, what should you do with this text? Read it. It's very interesting to read, but remember, it's like reading the life of a millionaire. 2 millionaires going, I bought this yacht, I bought this house, I bought this car. We're not a millionaire, multimillionaire yet. So cool to read about the rich, but until you're there, you can't be on their level talking about, yeah, and I bought this and I bought this company. Just look at it as a place you're going to get to if you're on the path of making money, for instance. Or on the spiritual path, realize this is the state we're going to get to when we're genuinely enlightened. But don't try to rush this. That's my advice. This path isn't an all or nothing. It's not, I'm miserable until I get enlightened. No, it's pleasurable. To learn this stuff, to do spiritual practice, it's a delight. Well, I found it personally. I love doing spiritual practice. I love prayer, devotion, meditation. I love interacting with people, trying to lift their spirit, make them laugh, make them happy. It's pleasurable. And it slowly leads you up the rungs of the ladder to the ultimate truth. So that's all I'm saying. The spiritual path is not meant to be a chore. It's meant to be a joy to follow. Hope this video was informative. Maybe in the future I'll cover the whole Ashtavakra Gita. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, tread with caution with this. It can damage you if you read these high teachings and take them as a belief. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to help, honestly. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.